Mm. Oh, hey kids, how you doing today? I hope you enjoyed our unit on World War One. What a tragic and horrible sequence of events that was. That generation, boy, whole generation of young men gone, lost in the trenches. It's just a real terrible thing. The technology of industrialism set to militarism and played out amongst the conflicts amongst nation states. Um, at the end of that tragedy, oh my, we've got three empires that are gone or changed in significant ways. Germany becomes a republic at the end of the war. Russia, a vast revolution, and moves in towards its communist state. And Austria-Hungary, a giant multinational empire, reduced to a small state of Austria with many different countries throughout Central and Eastern Europe. That were created through the process of negotiations in Paris and agreed upon at the Treaty of Versailles. So we have many small little nation states that didn't exist before. We have vast empires gone, and we've got three Western democracies that are, in a sense, the leaders of the next phase of history. And we've got France, England, and the United States, which is coming out as a really strong power. As you can see, I was reading my daily take on the chronicles of the 20th century, a daily read for me, of course. And each of the pages has clips from newspapers. And I was looking at 1929 right now, and as you can see, 1929, the middle of these world wars, was a pivotal moment, almost smack dab directly in the middle of this time period. This is when the stock market crash happened, starting here in America and having repercussions and spreading throughout the world, causing a global Great Depression. So we've got three things that we want to keep our eyes out for in the interwar years. The one is the reorganization of the world according to the premise of national self-determination, which was one of Wilson's 14 points. And that resulted in breaking apart large empires, creating small independent states, and ultimately had many problems. They were supposed to be kept in peaceful resolve amongst each other through a institution called the League of Nations, and the League of Nations failed to exist. It wasn't able to do what it was set out to do. After the next Great War, World War II, a new institution took its place and has been more successful, although not completely, at averting war, and that institution is the United Nations. So the first thing we keep our eyes open for are how the new nation states were organized and what the problems were with that organization. The second thing we keep our eyes open for are the economics of the interwar years. Right after the war, the people returning, the men that did return to their countries, they had a difficult time finding jobs and all. The factories had geared up for mobilization and for supplying the lines. And when the war ended, lots of contracts stopped. And so you had people getting laid off and unemployment, people coming back, men coming back from the trenches and looking for their old jobs that weren't there. So in Europe, we've got a significant problem with the economies getting going again after the war. Here in America, though, we've got this amazing period, this boom period of the 1920s, the roaring 20s, if you will, the age of Great Gatsby. I believe that's a book that many of you are reading in your language arts classes, or have read, or will read, at least hopefully, in our curriculums. At any rate, the second thing that you're keeping your eye on are the economics of the interwar years. And the most tragic issue of that is, although the economy is starting to get going again, we had this stock market crash, which led to a Great Depression, which had soaring unemployment rates throughout many of the world's economies. This is particularly relevant for a major cause of World War II, excuse me, and that is the economic difficulties of the interwar years led to people seeking solutions, and that brings us to the third issue, and that is the rise of right-wing, fascist, totalitarian dictatorships in Italy, in Germany, and then the rise of a left-wing totalitarian government in Russia. These types of dictatorships were the new political systems that developed in a really, in a very tragic type of stew of problems. There wasn't one problem here, there wasn't one problem there, it wasn't this problem, that problem. There were many problems in this stew of problems, I'll call it. And it led to people looking for solutions to their problems, and many people turned to strong, charismatic leaders that exuded or claimed to possess some extraordinary powers in helping make people great. And we've got this real terrible type of governments that we call totalitarian dictatorships. And we're going to learn about those. And the three most relevant are the Soviet Union and the rise of Joseph Stalin, with the communist left-wing party. In Italy, we have a fascist government. We'll learn about what fascism is, under the leadership of Benito Mussolini, and that right-wing, a strong nationalist party. And of course, one that I know you've all heard about, and that is Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party in Germany. And we'll learn about how that party came to power, who Adolf Hitler was, and the tragedy that ensued. It's not, again, happy, happy, wow, check that out type of history. Maybe like the stuff we studied with the Renaissance, or maybe stuff we've studied with the court of Louis XIV. Although much of that had its dark side, I got to say, it's none of it compares to the darkness of these totalitarian fascist regimes and what occurred next. It's something that you need to know, something that I need to convey to you, something that we all want to learn about, and so that it never happens again. Well, I don't want to leave you on that note. I'll turn back to my book here and hope that you have a great day. Today's reading, I believe, is just about some of the issues that are going on in the world in between the states and the interwar years, and we'll get to those particular governments soon. So, ciao, have a great day, thanks for tuning in, If you need to make up the quiz, it's from 2 to 3 p.m. today, Thursday. Make sure you get to the website and click on the correct link for the World War I quiz. Okay, bye-bye.